Okay, we are jumping straight into uh, a really strange set of sources today. They feel less like official reports and more like, I don't know, some kind of lost sci-fi script,
Yeah.
but meticulously detailed.
Absolutely. We're talking about Project Apollo 23.
A name most people have probably never even heard.
Exactly. It was a deeply classified U.S. military and scientific venture, and frankly, a catastrophic one.
The core seems to be this link they created between Texas and the moon.
That's right. Using some highly unstable quantum technology, it effectively tied the Texas desert to the dark side of the moon. Sounds impossible, I know.
Well, the events certainly sound impossible. Take the first incident. Donald Babinger, just a regular guy eating lunch in a park in England, bit drizzly,
Hmm.
and he just collapses, dead. But the thing is, he's totally alone, yet the symptoms,
Mm-hmm.
they're like strangulation, asphyxiation.
And witnesses said the park around him, just for a moment, turned to this sort of dry, gray dust, lifeless.
Yeah, and at basically the exact same time, miles away.
You get astronaut Garrett, fully suited up, suddenly appears in a queue, in a shopping center, at a fast food place.
And apparently just says, Houston, we have a problem, which, fair enough.
Understatement of the century, probably.
So our deep dive today is really connecting those dots. The guy in the park, the astronaut, and what was really going on up there on the moon at this secret base Diana.
And uncovering the alien mind control plot that kind of hijacked the whole thing.
Okay, let's start with the tech itself, because it sounds like the science failing is what kicked all this off.
It is. It's called the quantum displacement system. And you need to understand, this wasn't just like a Star Trek transporter or a simple portal.
No.
No, the idea was to make two different locations functionally become the same physical place.
Well, okay. So Base Hibiscus in Texas and Base Diana on the moon, they were meant to be like linked rooms.
Precisely. Move people, equipment, resources back and forth as if they were just, walking down the hall. Highly sophisticated stuff.
But unstable.
Extremely. And kind of poorly understood. The inventor, Charlie Flecknoe, died decades before this, and apparently he took the full understanding with him.
So they were running this incredibly powerful, reality-bending tech based on incomplete knowledge.
Seems like it, flying blind, as you said earlier, which
Yeah.
leads directly to these victims.
Right, Donald Babinger. His death makes a horrible kind of sense if the link flickered.
Exactly. For that brief moment, his physical location, or at least his lungs, were effectively on the airless moon, asphyxiation.
And the gray dust,
Yeah.
that was the moon itself, bleeding through.
That's what the sources indicate, the lunar surface briefly overwriting the park. Terrifying.
And it worked the other way, too, didn't it, Becky Starmer?
Ah, yes. Becky Starmer and her dog, Poochie, found dead on the moon.
Displaced there. And the sources say it rained on the moon during that incident.
For a few moments, yeah. Because where Becky was in England, it was raining. The atmosphere swapped briefly during the instability.
Unbelievable. And then astronaut Garrett obviously got pulled the other way from the moon base to the burger joint.
Right. So these incidents, they show the link was real, physical, and dangerously unstable. But that's just the consequence of the link.
Okay, so what was the purpose of Base Diana? Why build a secret moon base after Apollo 17? We're talking missions up to Apollo 22, maybe 23, that nobody knew about.
Well, officially, or semi-officially, the location was chosen partly for the quantum link experiment, hidden on the dark side. But also, there was water.
Water. On the moon, I thought NASA found tiny amounts. Ice, maybe.
They found, or this project found, a huge underground reservoir, oxygenated hydrogen molecules, a significant resource they kept very quiet about.
Okay, water's useful. But that doesn't explain the real secret, does it?
No, because the head scientist, Professor Jackson, his obsession wasn't really space, it was the human mind.
What do you mean?
He was researching, and I quote, "What makes one man good and another bad?" And Base Diana. Well, it wasn't just a lab.
What was it?
It housed a prison, a penal colony. On the moon?
Wait, hold on. A secret prison on the moon for psychological experiments. Who signed off on that? That's staggering.
Oversight seems to have been minimal, maybe non-existent beyond a very small classified circle, which is how Jackson could operate the core of the base, the process chamber.
The process chamber, what did it do?
It used adapted alpha waves, bombarded specific brain areas to neutralize the electroactivity.
Well,
His goal was to wipe out what he called Keller impulses.
Geller impulses. So, like, criminal thoughts,
Yeah.
negative inclinations, bad personality traits.
Essentially, yes. He was trying to literally erase the bad parts of people's minds.
Okay, ethically horrifying. But scientifically,
Hmm.
did it work?
That's the critical flaw. It didn't just treat or suppress the impulses, it removed them entirely. Aggressively, it created a void.
Avoid.
They called it a blank state, an empty mind, basically.
Oh, wow. And that had consequences, I assume.
Big time. Early on, Jackson's own assistant, Liz Didbrook, had a complete nervous breakdown. But before they took her away, she was muttering things, coded warnings about distractions, spanners in the works.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Someone knew this was wrong.
Someone was trying to interfere, yes. But then the interference became something else entirely, something external.
This is where the doctor comes in, right? The
Yeah.
scientist figure in these sources.
Yes. He arrived, assessed the situation with the quantum link, looked at the blanks, and immediately suspected they weren't staying empty. He thought they were being filled, downloaded with something new.
And he was right.
He was. This moves us into the third part, the invasion. He used the Herschel telescope, ran some scans, and detected alien brainwaves.
Alien and brainwaves.
Distinct patterns, zooming in, targeting the base at the exact moments Jackson's process machine was firing up.
So the process. It wasn't just creating blanks, it was opening a door.
It was basically rolling out the welcome mat. Jackson's machine was being hijacked.
Hijacked by who? Or
Okay.
what?
The Tellarians. An alien species apparently very interested in the human brain. Jackson's blanks were the perfect infiltration method for them.
Why? What were they like?
Physically, the sources describe them as fragile, sort of viscous, liquid-based beings, single oval eye. They needed hosts, sturdier bodies.
Human bodies.
Exactly. They valued the robustness of human physiology. Jackson was unintentionally providing perfect, empty vessels.
So this escalated fast. From a dodgy science experiment to an alien takeover.
Instantly, the Tellarian consciousness took over Professor Jackson completely. He started calling himself Andrew Parg. Same for Captain Reeve, the base commander.
Number plan.
Full infiltration, starting with the base personnel, then Earth. Their goal was, chillingly, one each for everyone on Earth.
One Tellarian consciousness per human. Oh, God.
And when the doctor started trying to fix the quantum link from Earth, trying to help, the Tellarians panicked.
What did they do?
They cut the link entirely, shut the door to stop him interfering, and they switched tactics. No more slow mind transference.
They went faster.
Much faster. They initiated a full matter transmission beam, a brilliant white light focused right on base Diana.
To bring in, what, more minds?
No. Troops, their own physical troops. The
Yeah.
first wave, led by a Commander Rararg. The invasion was going physical.
But there was resistance inside the base. You mentioned Liz Didbrook trying to sabotage things earlier.
Yes, she was likely the first, trying to signal for help, but the really crucial figure inside was Major Carlyle.
Carlisle.
Yeah.
She'd been processed too, right? A blank.
Not quite. She went through it, yes, but something went wrong. A power fluctuation during her session. The result was complex.
How so?
Her eyes stayed brown, not the Tellarian pale gray, but a Tellarian consciousness was trapped inside her mind alongside her own. It didn't take over, but it gave her knowledge, access to their plans.
So she was a double agent, basically, aware of everything.
Exactly. She confessed later. She'd been deliberately causing trouble opening prison cells, firing her weapon, anything to create distractions, attract outside attention. She knew it was coming.
Which leads us to the rescue mission. This is where Apollo 23 actually flies, right?
Unbelievably, yes. The doctor convinced the U.S. military. They authorized an almost impossible launch. A fully fueled Saturn V, the secret Apollo 23, ready to go in under 48 hours.
48 hours for a Saturn V. That's insane.
Completely unprecedented. But they did it. Got the doctor back to base Diana just as things were hitting the fan.
Okay, final segment. The countermeasure. How do you fight mind-controlling aliens who are now beaming in troops?
Not with weapons initially, with information. The doctor figured out the key wasn't just the process or the link. It was how base Diana stored its data.
How did it store data? Not on servers.
Not primarily for long-term backup, no. Remember that huge underground water reservoir?
The oxygenated hydrogen molecules.
Yeah, the base was using the electron spin within those water molecules to store data. The water was the hard drive.
Wait, what? Storing data in water? How?
It gets weirder. The doctor realized it was holographic storage.
Holographic, like in Star Wars.
Sort of. It means the entire data set in this case, a complete mind print, personality, memories, everything was encoded in every single tiny part of the whole. Every drop of water contained the complete consciousness of whoever had been archived.
So Jackson hadn't just erased minds. She'd backed them up. In the water supply.
Unintentionally, yes. He'd created perfect backups of everyone he'd processed.
That's mind-bending. How did the doctor even prove that worked?
He had a sample, his companion, Amy Pond. Her mind print had been captured, somehow stored as this pond water. He had her drink it, and her own identity, her consciousness, flooded back into her brain from the water. Filled in the blank state the Talarians had tried to impose, it worked instantly. She was herself again.
So the cure was drinking yourself, your own backed-up mind.
In essence, yes. Bizarre but brilliant. Which led to the big plan, the tsunami solution.
Okay, what was that?
Simple, really. The doctor took all the backed-up mind prints stored in the water, everyone who'd been processed, and mixed them into the main tank for the base's fire suppression system.
The sprinklers?
The sprinklers. Then Major Carlisle triggered them, across the entire base.
So it rained. Personalities.
Exactly. Personality-infused water showered down on everyone, and as it absorbed through their skin, the blanks people, like Captain Reeve, their brains encountered their own original, complete mind pattern.
And that pushed the Talarians out.
It seemed to.
Yeah.
The human brain fought to reintegrate its own familiar pattern, overriding the alien consciousness. It was a system reboot delivered by shower.
That is absolutely ingenious.
Yeah.
But what about the Talarian troops arriving on the beam, the physical ones?
Well, that ended messily. They arrived, these fragile, liquid-based beings. And just as they materialized, the Talarian leader, Jackson Androparg, realized they'd lost.
So what did he do? A final act of spite.
Pretty much, he shot out a window in his office. Base Diana experienced explosive decompression.
Sad for humans, but...
Catastrophic for the liquid-based Talarians. Think about deep-sea creatures brought up too fast. They swelled instantly in the vacuum and exploded. All over the base. The sources describe gray-green ooze everywhere. Gruesome, but it saved the remaining humans.
Wow. Okay, wow. What a chain of events.
Bizarre, brilliant, horrifying, all of it.
So let's try and summarize this for everyone listening. The key takeaways here. The quantum link was the pathway for disaster.
Right. Jackson's unethical research provided the empty vessels, the blanks.
And incredibly, water, acting as this holographic data storage, provided the cure.
And don't forget the little details, like a parking warden's signature messing up the doctor's psychic paper, a funny side note in the files.
Right. And the sheer audacity of launching Apollo 23 in less than 2 days. That's a story in itself.
Truly remarkable feat of engineering under pressure.
So the Talarian invasion was stopped. Humanity is safe. For now. But that ethical question still hangs there, doesn't it?
It really does. Jackson's project on the moon, using prisoners for mind alteration experiments to remove negative inclinations. That was the starting point.
So here's something for you, the listener, to think about. Did the Talarians, by trying to take over and inadvertently leading to the base's destruction, did they actually save those prisoners from something worse?
From institutionalized human cruelty hidden away on the moon, it's a disturbing thought. Where do you draw the line with science and ethics?
A very heavy thought, yeah. Definitely one to ponder. Okay, well, this has been the deep dive into the Apollo 23 incident.
And we should probably wrap this up.
Yeah, we probably should. We're getting some reports. A strange noise from the parking lot. Sort of a rasping, grating sound.
And we suspect our own supervisors might be waiting. Including, Agent Jennings, the one with the sunglasses.
And those weirdly cheerful, bright green eyes. Not exactly standard issue. We might need to strategically delay that debriefing.
Agreed. We'll catch you next time. Remember, when technology and ethics mix,
You really never know who to trust.